This week's episode of the Ballistae Protected the Court series, we're going to get away from the 2, 4, 5v1s and focus on the importance and criticalness of player roles and sticking to them. Alrighty, so right here I kind of want to set the stage, Dylan. So this is you against Team Australia, and I picked this clip because I kind of gave you a hard time for it with your 1v1 exchanges for Desmond. But before we begin, can you kind of set the stage for this?
Yeah, we so it was my first game playing against them because I didn't play against them in round robin. It's my rotation to sit. So it's kind of my duty to go for Desmond right away because we knew he'd be taking the pitch and that he's got a quick release and he's got their strongest arm. So my job was just kind of hit him and try to stay alive. And if we take the trade, then it'd be okay because I'd take my 5 over their 5 any day of the week.
For sure. And so when you said it was your job, like, did a coach or a captain tell you this is what you're going to do, or did you kind of take that upon yourself, just identifying the big threat?
I think Nate mentioned it, but going into it, I kind of knew that was my role, and that's kind of the whole thing against any team. Whoever their best player is, that's going to be up there on that rush. I'm going to go for them right away and try to stay alive in that process.
Gotcha. So this is kind of a strategy that you've implemented throughout your career playing.
Yeah, and I'm lucky enough to have like someone as quick as Eli that can match or beat the other team on the rush.
Yeah, so we're about to watch one of these rushes, one of these exchanges, and what is the key? Like, what are the key ingredients to making sure that this is actually pulled off correctly?
So I try to just get a good throw off, like an accurate throw, but at the same time, like on that play, I was diving on the ground to just try to get out of the way. And you just try to change it up each time. Like sometimes I'll jump, sometimes I'll move to the left. Sometimes I'm just straight up if I can just to get a good shot off. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but I also try not to go too far up on the rush. You'll see me, I kind of stay right on the clear line. I don't go past it. I don't try to get too close to him, just enough to where I can get a good throw off and try to get back in time.
Gotcha. And do you think he was tracking you as well? Because in this second run, you guys are somehow had this pause perfectly. You guys are just facing off against each other like dead to rights. I mean, you almost have the exact same stance and timing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just we knew we're the closest ones to each other, and we're just going to try to take each other out, I guess.
One thing I'm noticing is Eli's full back is turned. So is that just him showing complete trust between you and Mikey having his back?
Yeah, I mean, plus for the most part, the whole match, that's what he went for was just for me. So they weren't too worried about it, but they figured that I'd draw the most attention in order to get that ball away from them.
It looks like it, and the parallels are pretty funny because you guys almost mirror each other, player for player, especially the 3 in the back, Cedro Ketchum and Crater, kind of just standing there like they're just waiting for this outcome to figure out how to react to it. And same thing with the Team Australia. So this is the second trade-off or encounter. And it looks like you survived that one. You both survived that one, but then Mikey followed up and took him out. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. He missed.
Yeah, Dez is crazy. He's moving all over the place. Just like that other like viral video that went around where he dropped on the ground to dodge one and then jumped back up on the plank.
Just lifts off from the floor.
Yeah, so we knew it was going to be a tough one to hit. So if he was up there like vulnerable, it's a good one to go for at the start of every game.
Yeah, because he's worth the effort.
Exactly.
So that first one, you took him out. Obviously, you got out too. I mean, did you feel like, okay, my job is done? If they cash me in, great. If not, these guys got this.
Yeah, I like if I get the trade, like that's probably, I mean, I've obviously much rather stay in, but I'll settle for the trade because I know that still puts us in an advantage.
For sure. So let's watch this third exchange. Yeah, same thing. Trade off. And you got this like I don't want to say like this just confident look, like you're not freaking out, you're not dropping f bombs, you're not having a temper tantrum, you're just kind of walking up like, okay, I did my job, I'm gonna wait until I get caught in.
Exactly, yeah. Because I mean, we've got some good catchers, so I'm ready to come back in. I think one of these next games, Eli caught me back in. So
Yeah, there's a very very high probability that you're gonna be caught back in with that lineup.
yeah, and then I think I don't know if it's this one or the one before. Yeah, I think it is this one. Um, I think Dez got me. So this was probably the only match or the only game that Dez hit me, and I did not take anybody out with me.
And so when this was happening, because right now the ratio is there's two 1-for-1s, one where you both missed and one where he got you. Did you ever think that you had to change your tactics or your mindset or your mission or your job?
No, it's just each time that I do miss, I'm just trying to watch what he's doing. So whether he's dropping or which direction he's moving every time, just so that I learn from it for the next time because I'm going to do it the same exact thing and try to go for him again on our next game.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's one of those like consistency is really going to help, especially if you know your opponent really well. Like if you see him start to make that drop movement, you know you got him. And
Yeah,
you
you
go,
always. I mean, in these matches, you always have to adapt to how the players are reacting.
yeah, it looks like you so in this fifth one, you kind of hesitated this time, let him kind of make a move, see what he's going to do. You didn't hit him this time, but you both stayed in, so kind of survived that initial onslaught. So yeah, pretty much for the whole match, you stayed pretty dedicated to Desmond. He was your assignment, much like a cornerback would pick up a receiver and whatnot. And this progressed. So we're gonna move forward to I want to say like game 9. I think that's when you started to actually connect with him and you started to win those matchups. We already had one half going into the game. Did you just kind of figure his timing out at this point, or do you remember like why you started connecting finally?
I don't know. This one he was kind of just dead in the water. He dropped down early and turned his back. So I think he actually changed up his target too. So it was kind of a free shot on him.
Yeah, it looks like
Uh,
he went for the outside instead of you, and you just kind of took advantage of that.
yeah. So and I think the next couple games they sat him. So I kind of did my job in another sense of getting him out of the game. So that kind of helped us for the last few games to clinch it.
I would say so. He definitely neutralized the big threat on that team, and yeah, I mean, as I've been saying, you did your job. So let's go to your game against Malaysia because you also in the interview kind of highlighted a really important aspect of just being accurate and how important that could be. And the reason why I wanted to kind of talk about this one is a lot of people are asking about accuracy and how to get better at it. And what I like about this clip is it was very crucial because it helped turn the momentum into your guys' favor by stopping that potential another almost full loss with almost all of Malaysia in the game still. So can you kind of in this clip right now there's four against three. You're in the middle. You catch him to your right, our left, and Isidro to our right, your left. And what was going on through your mind here, other than survive?
So, I mean, being down 2-0 is never a good spot, especially when you're down players already. So it was just kind of trying to switch that momentum up. In the middle, I'm just trying to stay alive. Like there, you just try to keep dodging, moving, especially against Malaysia because they'll just come at you in every direction. So this one, I came up and they called my number, and I went for Hari and got him. So everybody's all pumped up on the sidelines. They tell me to go again and waited for him to move. And as soon as he jumped, then I threw it right where he landed, got his leg. So then we're ready again. So now we switch it up until Cedar to throw. He throws at him. I pass him the ball, and then look for that catch from Wei Shang. So then I brought Mikey in, and then I think they told me to throw again, so I threw it right at his blocker, and then he came back and did a counter, and it popped right up. And then everybody's just cheering, and now we know momentum's on our side to seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely stopped the bleeding and showed that okay, these guys are hittable for whatever reason. Team USA was just not connecting, but relying on your accuracy, you're able to start picking them off, even getting some catches to really just show them okay, we can take these guys. And I feel like if ever there was a turning point, it was in those minutes there, when it's just you and Isidro and Ketchum left. And you kind of talked about this in the interview, of your recap, but like, what would you say is like your biggest like contributor to being accurate, especially when the stakes are this high? The idea I think the go-to is for people to kind of throw as hard as they can, or maybe overdo it for lack of better words. But what were you thinking there? Just like how do you hit these targets, especially somebody like Team Malaysia where they're just really hard to hit in general?
I mean, it's just different because you don't have to throw 100% all the time, especially if your team's not hitting. You you just want to take off like 5% and hit your spot. I mean, Malaysia's not really known for going for a lot of catches. So if you take a little bit off and get your throw down a little bit, then you can just hit your spot. And it seemed to work for us once we started going. And because the first two games, we were just, I mean, people were throwing high. We were missing targets, and the first two games we hadn't hit one player. It was they had all six in at the end for both games, and then they gave me the green light to throw. So when you're in this situation, when if you get your number called or your name called in that huddle, it's like your duty to just hit your guy, hit your target, and then rely on the next guy to do the same thing.
Nice, which I feel like you executed very well, especially kind of taking it down maybe 5% or so as you put it, because you again sometimes the default is I'm going to throw as hard as I can to hit these people. But then you realize okay, that's not necessary. I know exactly where I want this to go. If I just make that ball go there, I'm going to hit somebody, and then boom, 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 they all kind of fell after that. So that's very well done.
Yeah, well, our team is a big momentum team, especially with all our fans there and guys on the sideline just pumping you up, even though they're not in the game. When we get momentum going, it's like I said before, the train's coming. Don't be standing on the tracks.
So that was this week's edition of Ballistae's Protector of the Court. If you have a play that you would like broken down, hit us up at admin@ballistaegear.com or via any of our related social media channels. Be sure to tag us and utilize the hashtag Protector of the Court, and we'll see you in the next one.